Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and I talk about all things travel. So today we're going to take a look at the BagSmart Blast 28 liter backpack. I've had mine now for about 4 or 5 months, and over that time I've taken it on probably a dozen days out. It's gone with me to the beach, it's gone with me on the train, on a couple different planes. I've used to spend quite a bit, and I've got to say overall it's held up really beautifully, especially with this lighter color. So let's dive into all of the details. I'm going to tell you everything I love about this bag and a couple things I wish would have been done maybe a little bit differently. Starting off strong, let's take a look at the outside and then we'll work our way to the inside. So starting with the outside, you can see this is made out of a really nice water-resistant nylon, meaning that if you get caught in a rainstorm, that rain is either just going to sit right on top of this material or just roll right off. The one catch with this is that while the material is water resistant, the zippers are not. So if you do find that you're going to be going outside in the rain with this bag, make sure that anything that you do not want to get wet is closer to the center of the bag, because I did notice the last time I used this and I was caught in the rain, there was just a little bit of leakage that came through the zipper on the top. So keep anything important toward the center if it looks like there's any chance of rain. Let's do a little tour of the outside of the bag. Starting off strong, we've got a really nice grab handle on the top. It is really well padded, which I love. There's also another padded grab handle on the side. So you've got 2 grab handles, and just behind the grab handle on the side, you do have a little zippered compartment that you can hide a passport, wallet, phone, whatever in. It's actually pretty wide. It goes all the way back to about here on the bag. So it starts about here and then comes up to about where this seam is right here. So you can see it's quite large. Just zip that back up. You can also see on the side of the bag there are compression straps, so it makes it nice and easy to compress everything. If you need to squeeze it into one of those sizers before you get on your plane, it definitely helps. And we've got another set of compression straps on this side, as well as a 40-ounce water bottle holder. There's a nice bit of elastic on top, so it does give you the option to kind of squeeze it in there, which is really handy because when this bag is fully packed, you do find that it can be a bit tough to get the water bottle in here because it's taking up space that's already taken up by whatever's in the bag. So just for example, to kind of just show you how a water bottle would fit in here, I've got my Swell bottle right here. We'll just slide it in, and because this bag isn't fully packed right now, you can see it just slides right through. And I really like that I can put the compression strap kind of right at the top and just hold it in there a little steadier, because I did notice that because my Swell bottle's a bit smaller, it does have a tendency sometimes to slide out, especially if I have this on the floor of the plane. So just something to be aware of. I think if you've got a bigger water bottle or this is like 100% fully packed, it would probably stay in there a bit better. But if you're like me and you prefer a Swell bottle, I would definitely recommend just strapping the top bit in there just so it stays in and it's a bit more solid. So jumping to the back of the bag, you can see the straps are really nicely padded. Especially for it being a budget backpack, I think the padding on this is just outstanding. The straps are super comfortable. They also give you a sternum strap, which is really nice. You can just buckle it right there, and that is adjustable. You can see just behind the straps, there is this really nice mesh padding. It's actually quite thick and very comfortable. And on the side, there's another little hidden pocket. So you can see it runs from about here down to here and runs actually quite deep. It goes to about here and all the way down to here. And just behind here, also on the mesh paneling, to move the straps, there is a luggage strap. It's not like the fanciest luggage strap, but it gets the job done. And just behind this mesh padding on the back, we do have a laptop compartment. This compartment fits a 16.5-inch laptop. So you can see right here, there's a nice padded section here where you can slide that laptop in. There's also a smaller section just in front of it that's really great if you want to put in like a notebook, your Kindle. And on this part, you can see there's not like a ton of stuff to do here, but on the bottom, there is some nice netting that I found really helpful to just throw in my computer chargers, my mouse, anything, you know, I might want quick access to while I'm on the road. Jumping back to the front compartment, you can see there's a nice pocket right here. It goes quite deep down to about here and there. And this is a good pocket. I normally put my headphones, like snacks, things I want fairly quick access to will go in this pocket right here. And then just to the side, there's another little zipped pocket that's a bit more hidden, where it goes basically from right here down to about here and over. So what I normally do is this is where I'll stick my Kindle or whatever book I'm reading, and it's just, you know, nice and easy access while you're on the plane. And while we're looking at this bag, let's also talk about the bottom. So the bottom of this bag, there's a really nice shoe compartment. You can also use it for dirty laundry. You can see there's two little vents here, which keeps everything nice and aerated. And this pocket goes quite deep. I'll show you in a second once the bag's completely open, but you can very easily, depending on how big the shoes are, fit between like 1 and maybe 2, maybe 3 pairs of shoes if you're really, you know, squeezing in like small sandals or something like that. And that just keeps everything separated so nothing in the inside gets dirty. And jumping up to this front pocket, this is one of my favorite pockets because when this is underneath the seat stored, it's so easy just to quickly open this, pull it out, and grab whatever it is you need. So normally this is where I've got my sleep mask, maybe a couple more snacks, and it's just nice and easy access. You can see there is a little net pocket here, so it keeps you organized. And this does go quite deep, but because it feeds into the interior of the bag a bit, the deepness does depend on how much you have squeezed into the main compartment. So with that said, let's jump into the main compartment. Starting off strong, we've got more compression straps, and here's that section that is the shoe portion. So you can see it's quite large, and depending on how many shoes you put in there, it does take up a good portion of the bag. I've seen a lot of people do is they will put their shoes, whatever they want in this bag first, and then kind of, you know, pack underneath and like let it set and then pack around it. And I think that tends to be kind of the best way to pack this bag, but it's up to you. I think it also just depends on what kind of stuff you're putting in the bag, how easily that's gonna pack. But they do give you a compression strap to just kind of strap everything down and in, which is super helpful. And in terms of interior pockets, there aren't any in this section, but you can see right here, there is one on the top, and it is made out of like a plastic material, so it is more or less waterproof, water resistant. Depending on what you're traveling with, I like to put in a lot of like my liquids just so I know that if they do spill, they're not gonna, you know, get into the rest of the bag. The last thing to talk about is expanding this bag. So right now we're looking at it with 28 liters, and to expand it to 38, it's really simple. We're just gonna turn it to the side, and you'll notice right here next to where the laptop compartment is, there's another little zipper. So we're just gonna zip it all the way around. And when you do that, you're gonna notice that it adds about 2 more inches of material to the bag, giving you a little bit of extra space. What I like to do is if I do have this open to be expandable, if I'm flying, I will pack it expanded and then do everything I can to squeeze it back down and compress it using that same expansion zipper. Let's take a look at some of the dimensions and weight for this bag. Dimension-wise, you are looking at, when this bag is 28 liters and not expanded, 12.2 inches times 16.5 inches times 8.1 inches. So looking at 31 centimeters times 42 centimeters times 20.5 centimeters. When this bag is expanded, it goes to 38 liters, which dimension-wise has you looking at 12.2 inches times 16.5 inches times 10 inches. In centimeters, you're looking at 31 centimeters times 42 times 25.4 centimeters. And in terms of weight, this bag is roughly about 2 pounds when it's empty, so it doesn't add a ton of weight to your luggage, which is really lovely. So here's the backpack on. This is currently expanded, so you can see how it fits on the frame. I'm 5'8" and fairly petite, just for reference, so you can see it fits really nicely. This is without the sternum strap hooked. And then just for reference, we've unexpanded it. So this is the 28 liter way to wear it. And you can see the fit's still pretty much exactly the same. And again, I'm 5'8", and this is how it's fitting on me. So overall, I think this is a great backpack, especially if you're on a budget. It comes in a bunch of different colors. I think it's super functional, really well designed for travel. You really can't beat this bag, especially if you're on that budget. If this is a backpack that you're interested in purchasing, I do have a discount code in the description box below for you, so check that out. Just a heads up, it is an affiliate link for me. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but does help support my channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you use it. I'll also leave a link in the description box below for a detailed written review about this bag. So if you'd like to hear more, head to my website, Ali Travels. Again, that link's below. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.